This is question number 24 on the June 2015 calculator paper. The question says, Steve traveled from Ashton to Barnfield. He traveled 235 miles, correct to the nearest 5 miles. The journey took him 200 minutes, correct to the nearest 5 minutes. Calculate the lower bound for the average speed of his journey. Give your answer in miles per hour, correct to 3 significant figures. Okay. So, looking at this question, it should be clear to you that this question is about bounds. Okay? And so thinking about it and rereading the question is going to give you an idea of how you're going to annotate it, what numbers you're going to use, and how you're going to use them. So the question says that he travels 235 miles, correct to the nearest 5 miles. Now, because it's 5, correct to the nearest 5 miles, I know straight away I'm going to plus or minus half of 5, which is going to be 2.5, to get my upper and lower bounds for the distance he travels. I'm going to do a similar thing for the time. I'm going to plus or minus 2.5, which is half of 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. This here is 2.5 miles to get the upper and lower bound times that he traveled. Okay, the question asked me to calculate the lower bound for the average speed. So they want me to calculate his speed. Now, I know that speed is equal to distance over time. All right, and they want me to work out the lower bound of his speed. All right, if I look at what I have, distance over time, to work out lower bound, I need the smallest distance over the biggest time. All right, so in other words, I need the lower bound of his distance over the upper bound of his time. Now, you should be able to understand this if you've done bounds already, right? If you're in a situation where you can answer this question, you should be able to think about what I've just done, what I've just said, and be able to actually list those values. If I go back to the top and look at these times, and distances. So his distance, I'm just going to write both of them here. So his upper bound is going to be that plus 2.5 miles, which is going to be 237.5 miles. His lower bound is going to be 235, take away 2.5, so it's 232.5. You can use your calculator to help you find this. The time, I'll write those down here. His upper bound time is going to be 200 minutes plus 2.5, which is 202.5, and his lower bound minutes or time is going to be 202 take away 2.5, which is 197.5. And again, you can use your calculator to work those out. So going back to this, I don't need to use all 4 of these numbers. I need the lower bound for the distance, which is 232.5, divided by the upper bound for the time, which is 202.5 minutes. Okay, now this is miles, this is minutes. The question said to work out his speed in miles per hour. All right, so I'm staying aware of that. I'm going to work this forward. Let's see what to do. We need to do this division, which is 232.5 divided by 202.5. Okay, I'm going to write this down. 1.148. There's some recurring there, so I'm going to leave that as it is on my calculator screen. 1.148, and those two numbers are, well, 148 is recurring. Okay, but You need to remember that because it's miles divided by minutes, this is miles per minute. Okay, the question asked us to work it out as miles per hour. Miles per minute, what this literally means is that every minute, that's how far he's traveling. So in an hour, he's going to travel that times 60. So the lower bound for the speed is going to be 1.148 times 60, or 60 lots of this. I've kept this number on my calculator screen. If I times it by 60, that gives me 68.8 recurring. Okay, now you need to be careful with this. If you're at this stage of the paper and you're working through these with the intent of getting all of these marks, 63.8 recurring with a dot means 68.8 with a dot above it means 68.888, and so on. The question also says give the answer to 3 significant figures. Okay, so if you just left it like this and you wrote that in the answer space, that'd be incorrect. You need to recognize that 8 with the dot above it means 8888, carry on forever. Count 3 numbers from the front for 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. Chop it off there. Notice that the next number along is an 8, and so that's going to become 68.9 to 3 significant figures. Miles per hour. Okay, and you don't need to write that all down here because in the answer space they've got a space for you. They've written miles per hour, but you need to make sure that you wrote an answer of 68.9. Okay, here's the complete answer. You need to make sure you are actually very well aware of this. You can do it. You do understand this. This is a very, very common question, especially on the calculator paper at this stage of the higher paper, and those of you aiming for top grade should be able to do it and get all the marks in it.